Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. There are a number of reasons that I decided to launch this YouTube channel at the end of 2018. One of those reasons, which I haven't mentioned in a long time, a very long time probably, because I don't talk about this topic much because the channel's not intended to be primarily about me, and so it's not. But one of the reasons that I wanted to start this channel is to push back against the utter nonsense, the grandiose BS. You know, XRP, the backbone of the new financial system, $30,000 XRP. It's complete and utter nonsense. And so that's why, one of the reasons why, I was really looking forward to launching my channel when I did, so that I could share my alternative viewpoints. Because there are all sorts of people who had some of the larger followings in the community that were spewing that stuff. And so I've been pushing it back against that crap the whole time. And it's not because I'm some sort of stick in the mud. I'm probably among the most excited XRP holders in the entire damn community. I mean, that's what it feels like to me. I've never been more optimistic and excited to be in this community. And I firmly believe that realistic expectations for XRP's long-term viability and price appreciation, that, in my estimation, that's already wild. But in a good way, in a believable way. Like, it's... If you just knock out all the noise, all the crap, all the conspiracy theory nonsense, and just embrace reality, like, that will already be life-changing for so many people, so many of you listening. Can you imagine what even a 30x in price increases? And that's not crazy. No, I'm not making a prediction, mind you, because I'm not a chart guy, any of that stuff. But that's plausible, is it not? But then you start talking about like $10,000 XRP. Just get out of here with this. Like, I do not have, it's just silly nonsense. But we don't need it. We don't need all of that jibber jabber and hoo-ha, when if you just recognize reality, it is more than sufficiently exciting. And so take a look at some of these headlines from the Crypto Basic. Here's when holding 40,000 XRP can become $100 million. Folks, 40,000 XRP in terms of today's dollars. I'm not talking about if there's hyperinflation one day. In today's dollars, 40,000 XRP will never be worth $100 million. You need somebody to like be willing to speak in common sense. Look, I understand if I were just hypey like that, I'd have a lot more followers. But I want to be intellectually honest, because I couldn't sleep with myself at night. Like, I couldn't look in the mirror if I were saying these things. And so I don't know if everybody that's saying this crap is a liar or if they're just deranged. I can't say. But some of the stuff is just so out there. I can't help but wonder. Like, to what degree are you lacking mental acuity thinking that XRP goes to like tens of thousands of dollars in terms of today's purchasing power? I'm sorry, folks, it's not happening. And again, I'm not being a stick in the mud. I would just, and that's why actually one of the things I want to do in this video, and this is why the reason I'm going to run through a couple of these articles, is because like there's somebody that was saying stuff that was common sense, and he's clearly fed up with all the people putting the hype out there, and I wanted to highlight that. Somebody living in reality, and he's frankly, you can tell, pretty frustrated with XRP price action. I say fair enough. I'm not exactly thrilled with, you know, the SEC attack and how it's held back price. I'm not thrilled with that either. But I'm still very excited and optimistic nonetheless. And that story starts with this from the Crypto Basic. Upholds XRP to $1,000 prediction, gains momentum again. Now, I'm surprised by this headline for a couple reasons. First of all, Uphold, which of course, American-based cryptocurrency exchange, obviously a very good friend to the entire XRP community. I'm a huge fan. I've been using them since the middle of 2018. I've always had a great experience with them personally anyway, and I'm not getting paid to say that. I'm just sharing my honest opinion. Then when the SEC attacked our community, Uphold stood by us and refused to delist XRP, and they were proven to be on the right side of history. So two reasons I'm surprised by this headline. Number one, Uphold never made a $1,000 price prediction. And number two, because in this article, the Crypto Basic acknowledges that Uphold did not make a $1,000 price prediction. So, okay. But there were comments, like they highlighted here. Like, this is a post from November of 2021. Uphold wrote, "What are you wishing for in crypto this holiday season?" And somebody wrote $1,000 XRP. And so I don't know if that's a joke, if that person was thinking, yeah, that got happened, because it's just fantasy and stuff. But Uphold wrote, what's the first thing you do if XRP reached $1,000? And they've had other posts like that. And so whether you like those posts or don't, you're entitled to your opinion, but they didn't make the price prediction. Still, that article was shared here by Digital Assets Daily. Upholds XRP to $1,000 prediction gains momentum again. And that's what resulted in this article, also from the Crypto Basic. Pundit says XRP $1,000 prediction is unrealistic, but $15 is achievable. I read this headline, I was like, finally, I don't know who this is, but this must be a rational person. And I think the answer is yes from what I've seen so far anyway, right? And so I don't really need to read through the article. I'm just going to go straight to the post and share with you what he said, because this is the stuff that should be highlighted. Because part of it is like, it's like Festivus, it's like an airing of grievances, which I'm all for, man. Festivus, right? Festivus for the rest of us, right? So there's that, but also it's grounded in reality, which I think is even more important. I mean, everybody loves to bitch on the internet, so like, I'm down. Everybody, you do your thing. Everybody do your thing. I'm bitching right now. I'm bitching about people being completely unrealistic about where XRP is going price-wise. So it's a good time. It's a good time. We can have a bitch fest. It's fantastic. And so it's very clear that he's upset, because in a separate post he even wrote that XRP was basically, I think he wrote dog S-word, but he's still right. Like, what he said here is correct. And so in response to this story being shared about $1,000 XRP, he wrote $1,000, and he's got some laughy emojis here. He said, Uphold probably meant $1. Come on, people, be real with yourself. These insane price predictions, $1,000 is like $50+ trillion of market cap, and today the entire crypto space is around $2.1 trillion. Now, I gotta pause here. I always acknowledge this. First of all, I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing for him to state here. But also, of course, market cap is whatever the current price is times the circulating supply. That's the way it's calculated in our space, for better or worse. And so it's not how much money flows in. And of course, I knew that back in 2017. I understand that today. So, you know, and I've always acknowledged, like, that's not the best argument for why the price is silly. I like to add on to that. So it's fine what he said. It's definitely, I'm not overly critiquing here. The reason that's a perfectly fair thing to state is because the amount of money that would have to flow into XRP to have the price for XRP on a global scale bid up to $1,000, it is not remotely realistic. Like, where do you think this money is coming from? Like, is everybody selling their homes and like living in stick huts? Like, where's this coming from? And I've done videos where I've broken down how much wealth there is in the entire world in various asset classes. I've broken it down, and I pointed out for like the people that insist that $10,000, so on and so forth, is reasonable price for XRP, and it's going to happen because it's the new global financial system, bro. I point out there's not enough money on the planet for that to happen, nor will it literally be that. But XRP is clearly being adopted. I mean, it's among the most adopted and successful cryptocurrencies in history. Which is why I always say, like, the reality of XRP is sufficiently exciting. We don't need the BS nonsense. And if XRP goes to 10, 15, 20 bucks, okay. Maybe it even happens this market cycle. I don't know. That's plausible, at least, right? We've seen moves like that for other major coins. And so then he says, and again, his name's Financial Freedom here, he says, 6 years of XRP price guessing and not one so-called expert, analyst, YouTuber, influencer was correct. Fair. Especially if you're talking about the ones that were calling for $1,000, $10,000, $20,000 XRP, especially them. But also, we did have an attack from the SEC, so the fact that we haven't had a new all-time high, I think that that's a primary driver there. And then another one, I think it's fair to argue that, you know, XRP had an 80,000% increase in price from the bottom to the top of the 2017 market cycle. 80,000. Maybe it needed more than a few years just to cool off. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, there's so many metrics I cover in videos where I talk about market activity and the stuff that the analysts, and I don't want to get into that in this video. I wanted to more so talk just on like a higher level about how some of this stuff is wacky. But that being said, there are so many metrics that are lining up. So I'd be remiss if not mentioning that in a video like this. Sure, but so there's reason to be optimistic, but it's not our fault that the SEC attacked everybody, you know? So anyway, then he says, 6 years of guessing, wrong. An XRP community made $0 in 6.5 years. Well, it depends on what you mean. There are people who have sold for a profit, and then it's to what degree, and then there are also people who have unrealized profit, like me, for example. Now, XRP isn't exactly one of my top performing cryptos, to put it lightly, for reasons that I've just cited. That's obviously true. But I'm most optimistic for it this market cycle, for sure. Oh, I most certainly am. There's a reason that I'm happy it's my largest individual holding. But even so, I have unrealized profits in XRP. So, I mean, that part's good, at least. It's not that everybody is in the red, though certainly some are. And then he says, and missed few bull runs. Oh yeah, lawsuit. Well then, if it was, which held XRP back, now that lawsuit's ended, wouldn't price explode to catch up since there is clarity? Perfect point. And I say that the answer is yes, but it's not unreasonable that it hasn't exactly yet. Because there has never been a point in history where XRP has ran to a new all-time high by itself. And almost no coins do. I can only think of a couple off the top of my head, like I think it was the summer of 2019 when Chainlink started to run like crazy. So stuff like that happens, but you shouldn't expect it, and almost no coins are going to do that. Usually when they move, it's during an alt season. So good news or not, in this case we got good news, all it did is it unshackled XRP. So it's totally a fair point, though, and so that's why I would say, if by the end of this market cycle, XRP hasn't materially moved, hit a new all-time high at least, I will start to wonder, did we miss something? Do we not understand something? Which doesn't mean I'd instantly sell my XRP, even because I don't do knee-jerk things when it comes to investing. But I would want to think, okay, let's have a conversation. Let's put our heads together. What the hell's going on here? Because it would be peculiar. Is it that it needs to consolidate even longer? Like, come on, I don't know exactly what that would mean, but it's hard to imagine that would be the case. When you consider how many more people are building on the XRP ledger today than in 2017 and 2018, and how many more people have jumped in, going from less than 700,000 XRP accounts when I jumped in November 2017 to over 5.2 million accounts now, it's just hard to believe that there's all this additional activity, actual adoption, but it doesn't ever, like the market never rewards that. To me, that doesn't compute. I think ultimately utility matters and will win the day. And so there are people like you and I that get that, and we lay the foundation here in terms of keeping the money into the ecosystem, and then other people come in, and then during times of euphoria, you get these crazy green candles, a lot of it from people that don't really know much of anything about XRP, because they treat all coins that start going that way. Green candle, take my money. That's how humans behave. So then he says, I am a holder of XRP, but I am a realist. Here is what's more likely. And then he tagged Uphold. And he said, $1 trillion market cap by 2030 is realistic. $15 per XRP, and you should be happy with 30x in 5 years. That's nice return. That's my more realistic price expectation. Sorry, Uphold, no disrespect, but no way. Now, and again, to be clear, I think he was under the assumption that Uphold did make that prediction, but they didn't. They've never made a price prediction. They're just engaging with the community. So whether you agree with the way in which they're engaged or not, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but they weren't. So I do think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding right there, and it's easy to understand why. Then as far as $15 XRP, I mean, if it happens in 2030, I guess okay. But with how long XRP is consolidated, again, I'm not saying that it would hit that. It would take that long to hit it, or I'm not saying it would or wouldn't this cycle. But even if XRP doesn't hit $15 this cycle, what if, analysts like the blockchain backer, Incredible Crypto, I mean, you go down the list. What if a lot of them who are thinking, 8, 10, 12, 13 bucks, what if it is somewhere around there? I mean, that's a pretty notable pump. I think for tons of people listening right now, that would be life-changing. For me, it would be, right? Definitely. So I'm going to keep holding to see if that happens, because technically, of course, nobody knows for sure what's going to happen with the price of XRP. I don't pretend to. I do not know. I'm very upfront about that. I'm just a dude on the internet. But I just, the reason I wanted to make this video is to encourage people and to spread them, just be more grounded to reality. And you don't need these crazy high numbers. And when people say that stuff, push back and ask them why. And I say that, certainly not aggressively or in some sort of necessarily mean-spirited way, but just have them defend the position. Have them articulate why they think it would genuinely make sense. And anytime I've done that, I've found that either they've said stuff that doesn't make sense and then I have to explain to them why what they're saying literally doesn't make sense, or you find out that they're saying it because they saw other people say it on the internet and they're parodying each other. I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a ton of that. So if we break down this nonsense hype, then more people can live in reality and have reasonable expectations. That's my take on it. You know, it's that simple. Everybody, you can say whatever you want. I'm not trying to silence anybody, nor do I have the power to do so. But I like to have thoughtful discourse. And I think this is pretty reasonable to talk about. We also had this headline: expert says XRP price fluctuations are just noise to distract investors from its true value. And I'm not going to read the article here either, but they were referencing this post from Black Swan Capitalist, who's fairly well known in the XRP community. And he wrote the following. He said, I don't stress over the XRP price. Fluctuations and hype are just noise meant to shake you out. Okay, I'll pause there to say, I like that. I would agree. There's nothing disagreeable with what he said right there. Fluctuations, doesn't matter. It happens with Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, you name it, right? And those things do shake people out. So totally fair. What's there to disagree with there? I think nothing, right? Then he said something that's little more questionable, a little bit, because he just pushed back. He said, fluctuations are hype and just noise. But then he said something that, well, is this hype? This next part of what he said. He wrote, the value lies in its technology and network. Okay, agree with that. That's true. Value is different than price. I agree. And then he says, on that note, XRP is the backbone to the new banking system, with all other systems being built to be interoperable with its protocol. That's a bit much, to be honest with you. I'm going to push back. I'm going to challenge the idea, not the person. I'm going to challenge the idea. What does that even mean? Certainly, there's nothing with smart contract functionality on layer 1 because XRP Ledger doesn't have that, so we can throw that out. You could talk about tokenization of assets. That can be a portion of the financial system, but would that make it possible to be the backbone of it? Well, I don't think so, especially when, even though, yes, XRP Ledger had the first ever decentralized exchange where you could actually tokenize stuff. First one in existence ever, which is really cool. When it comes to, and it's funny because it's popular now that we keep seeing RWA, real world assets, and especially just real world assets being tokenized on the blockchain. Why wasn't this bigger sooner? Like, obviously it was totally foreseeable. I was talking about this as soon as I launched my YouTube channel, of course. But that's happening on a ton of different blockchains. That's not something that's unique to XRP or the XRP Ledger. It's good. And in fact, what we are seeing is the firms that are tokenizing stuff, they're doing it on multiple blockchains, including XRP. And I've highlighted that recently, and it is good. So XRP Ledger is being adopted. That's great for long-term viability. But what about any of that would make it the backbone? Or does Ripple positioning XRP as a bridge currency, does that make it the backbone? I don't think that makes sense. That's just a means of transmission. What does it mean? XRP the backbone? And he didn't even say the ledger. He said XRP is the backbone to the new banking system. What does that mean? I don't think it means anything. It's not a thing. It just, can we live in, it's not a thing. It's not happening. It doesn't need to, though. Like, reality is sufficiently exciting. XRP could be worth way more than it is right now. And it can be long-term viable. And people are building on the ledger. Isn't that cool enough? The backbone of the new financial system? Don't you think that's a little bit much? Consider this. Look, more and more people are jumping into crypto, sure. But there are always going to be people that don't want to be in charge of their own keys, for example, when it comes to their own assets. What I'm saying is there will always be a very large percentage of people that want the centralization of the financial system. It's not going to be a winner-take-all here, folks. There will be more and more people absolutely going my way. So, like, I like self-custody. I custody my XRP. I don't want other people to touch it. But you're never going to 100% get away with it. So what does that mean? And what would operate in what way? What are you envisioning the transactions would be? that would make XRP and the XRP ledger specifically the backbone of the entire banking system on a global scale, and the entire world agrees, and it's all harmoniously governed, and all that happens, all that jazz. What is that? Doesn't it sound a bit grandiose to you? Doesn't it sound like a little bit too much? That's the type of stuff that I've been pushing back against for the entire time I've been in the XRP community. I don't mean this as a personal attack. I'm challenging the idea because it has never computed to me. And you don't need this. I mean, I think I have a pretty respectable following, and I don't sell this crap. I don't sell hype, right? And I'm very humble. Like, I never thought I'd have the level of support that I do on YouTube, and I very genuinely am appreciative endlessly. It's been very life-changing for me, honestly. But see, if anything, like, that does prove, like, you don't need... And yes, fine, I think my following would be bigger if I were willing to do that stuff. But you don't need to, okay? You can be intellectually honest, and people like that too, you know? So what does this mean? That XRP is the backbone to the new banking system? And then is there still anything centralized, or just there's nothing centralized anymore? Because I'm telling you, that's not happening. It's not going to happen. The truth is, you want the real truth here? If XRP is going to be long-term viable, it's going to be a part of the financial system. And if you niche down further, then it's part of the crypto asset class. And it can be a notable part. Maybe XRP will always be a large cap coin. That'd be cool. That's very plausible. It could. It certainly could. And it's one of the first movers, so it's got all that momentum going for it that brand new coins launching now could never have. Over a decade worth of adoption, and it's got this track record. It really actually does work. People have been trying to hack it for over a decade unsuccessfully. Almost 100% uptime for over 10 years. That's pretty cool. So it looks like it's here to stay. That's awesome, but it's just a piece of the entire flow of money the world over. It's a piece of it. Why can't that be good and exciting enough? Like, to me, it is. I really genuinely believe that. Like, if I'm nuts, you guys tell me. What do I have wrong? If XRP's, it's going to be the backbone of the new banking system. What am I missing? I've been here almost 7 years. Tell me what I'm missing. Because usually when I ask, I hear, well, it's all the derivatives on the block. And people say that. They don't even know what the hell that means. All that means is that an asset's tokenized on the blockchain. That doesn't have anything to do with the price action of XRP. We're going to put all the debt on the blockchain. Oh, okay. So then again, you're talking about tokenizing a representation of debt on the blockchain. Why would you do that? Is it centralized? Is it not? Well, if it's a token, sounds like somebody's issuing it. So why not just use a data? It depends. Like, is a database better for certain uses along those lines? Why is that happening, and why would it all be there, and why would that do anything for the price of XRP? It's like people say these things because they hear them like, oh, wow, if all the debt and all the derivatives, and they were all in the XRP ledger, which first of all would never happen. What do you think that does for XRP? Almost nothing. Other than help to ensure long-term viability. In terms of price, though, yeah, I mean, it'll instill confidence, so more people would jump in and invest money than otherwise would have as they diversify into crypto. But it's not like if there's a trillion or 2 or 3 or 5 of assets represented through tokenization on the ledger, it doesn't mean that much money flows into XRP itself. I mean, yes, XRP is required for the tokenization of assets on the ledger, and yes, it's required for the transactions, but barely any and that's by design. So the transactions are almost free, of course. So do people really still not get this? I mean, obviously a lot of people don't. And I just feel like these people, I'm not going to name anybody, but there are YouTubers out there that they don't ever say what I'm saying. And they say the opposite, and they propagate this stuff. And what they should really be doing if they want to serve the people that are listening to them is tell them the damn truth. And if they don't know, that's amazing to me if they've been around at least as long as me and don't know this stuff. This is very basic stuff. Why are they saying this? Stop it. But as a result of these people with these massive followings saying this stuff, some people, even if they don't understand, are like, oh, well, this person's got a big following. They must be trustworthy. They're probably saying something that's true. That's when people start parroting it within our community when they don't know what it means. And then I run into them, and then I have to clean it up. Why don't we all just work together to discourage this? Now, people should be allowed to say whatever they want to say, of course. But don't I too? Shouldn't I be able to push back against ideas that are very clearly incorrect? Or even if I just subjectively think something's wrong, can I say my thing too? Or do you want to be the crypto police and silence me? Am I allowed to talk? All right, I'll get off my soapbox. But this stuff always bothers me. And it's not going away. It's like there's more of this type of crap to fight against today than there was when I jumped in 2017. I'm sad to say that. But only kind of sad, because on the flip side, it does mean there's a way bigger community. Like, the community's way bigger than when I jumped in 2017. It's not even close. So that's cool. But that's because we're thriving in so many ways. And yeah, you want the price to catch up, fine. But there is a lot of cool stuff going on. So if somebody actually thinks this stuff makes sense, okay, you tell me what I don't understand. I've been at this 7 years. You tell me how XRP, and the letter, here he said XRP, but if it's XRP or the XRP ledger, and it just took over the world, and it's the entire banking system, tell me what the hell that means, first of all, and then second of all, how does that translate to the price of XRP itself? And what are the mechanics behind it? Who are the players jumping in to make that happen? Is it centralized? And to what degree would it be centralized player that are tokenized stuff, and then you have centralized tokens that are represented on the ledger? Like, can you break it all down for me? What's your big world vision for this? Because I've never once seen anything in depth explained when it comes to exactly what I'm talking about here. Not one time. I see sentences, and I gave a few examples just now during this video, but I've never seen some sort of thoughtful representation that actually is coherent. Not once. Because it doesn't make sense. Spoiler alert. But we still should be excited, I think. I think the best is yet to come. So it's not that I hope this video didn't come across as too negative. I just want to live in reality. That's it. That's what it boils down to. It's okay if people are wrong, but I'm not so convinced that people are saying things and they don't know they're wrong. I think a lot of people are saying stuff that they either know is wrong, especially some of these influencers out there, or people are parroting stuff that they heard that came from a source that they deem to be trustworthy. And maybe they shouldn't deem them as trustworthy then. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.